Welcome back to my channel. It's Frances Brown and today I'm going to do another card. So I've got a piece of watercolour paper here and I've just cut out a template for a star. This is for my sister who loves stars, so I'm going to put it just like that. This is a watercolour pencil and I'm just going to do the outline. It doesn't have to be particularly precise because I tend to go over anyway. But the beauty of the watercolour pencil is obviously that the watercolour, when it touches it when I'm painting, will get rid of the line. That's the idea anyway. Sometimes it doesn't, if I've left that area, but they usually go. And you can always kind of go over it again. So that's that done. Okay, so I'm not quite sure what colours we're going to do. Today I'm going to use, this is my palette, it's all dry. So I just leave the paint on it because it's completely fine, it's just dry. So what we're going to do is I'm going to choose the colours that I'm going to work with. I think blues and greens and yellow, I think. There we go. Now the one thing that I have forgotten is a tissue, so that's an important part, so I shall just go and get one. There we go. I used kitchen roll, and the idea is that obviously to dry the brush. So I've kind of got all of the colours ready that I have. I've also got a little paint palette here, but I probably will just use these. I tend to just stick with these ones, because you can mix all kinds of interesting colours. I also have 2 cups of water, and the reason for that is one of the cups will be my dirty water, and then I go into the clean water to make sure the brush is nice and got nothing, no colours on it that it doesn't need to have. So, okay, well, let's get going. There are 2 ways of going. You can either wet it first, which is what I'm going to start doing up here. And then once it's wet, get some colour. Now I've got no ideas as to how I want this to go in terms of colours and which way I want it to go, so I'm just going to see what happens really. I don't know if any of you have noticed I've got a new microphone. Some people had said that I was a bit quiet in my videos. So I thought I'd invest in a little microphone, which I've got on. I hope it's made it slightly better and that you can hear me. I hope so. Possibly too much water, so what I'll do is I'll take some of it off. Just the beauty of watercolour is that you can just play around. Nothing is serious with watercolour. It's not with mine anyway. I'm sure some people have a different way of doing it, but mine is just very, organic. So if I've made cards now with hearts, and now I'm doing a star one. Got any ideas of cards that you think I could do? Then by all means, let me know. I'd love to hear your ideas. Wet star at the moment. Now this is a very soft brush that I'm using here, and I don't use this one for when I do the flicking. I use a different one, so I will show you in a moment, because I think we're nearly ready. I might do, what do we think, a bit more yellow maybe here. But what I might do now is change over to my, this is just a really cheap brush actually, but it's got quite a hard bristle, so it's ever so good for flicking. So I always, when I do flicking, I do them in the same colours. No, that's not nice at all there, is it? That was just such a line, so you just need to add a bit of water and the line disappears. I love watercolour for that. You can just kind of blend. So what have I got in here? Blue, I think. Now, if I do this now on top of the wet paint, it will blend in quite well, but it will create texture. Whereas if I do it when it's dry, it will be a lot more obvious. If that makes, does that make sense? Hopefully it makes sense. So when I flick it with my finger like that, you can see they're very small and quite, there's an angle to them. But if I wanted, so like this kind of thing, you see that angle. But if I wanted something, that's better, to be a little bit more splodgy, then I would go with, what colour shall I splodge? A bit of green. So, and then just tap. And you can see that's a lot of a bigger splodge. It's a good word. Okay, we'll do a few more. Maybe some yellow ones. Always clean the brush in between, because otherwise obviously you're mixing up the colours and then it doesn't come out so clean. There we go. What do we think? Short and sweet. Now the one thing is that's happening is that I'm looking on the camera is that this is very pale there, so it's not very clear that that's where the end comes. I'm going to get my fine brush. Is that my fine brush? It is a fine brush. This is my good fine brush. These are really nice brushes actually, they were a gift. So I'm just going to go a little bit and bring that green up, I think, just really quickly before it's too dry, just to make a bit of a clearer line. That is quite dry, so I'm just going to wet it up a bit. Obviously if you do it now when I've splodged, it will make a difference with the splodgy bits, but I think it'll be okay. Yeah, I think that looks a bit better. So what do we think? I think we need a bit more blue there, so I'm going to sprinkle it on with my brush rather than painting it. And that I've just realised is a new blue. Yeah, so there we go, I reckon that'll do it. It's always, the trick is always to know when to stop. So there we go, there's my little card. Just bring it up. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, please press like, or have a look on my Instagram to see the dry result. And all my paintings are on Instagram actually, if you want to message me and tell me what you think. Brilliant, that's always lovely. Otherwise I shall see you soon. I hope you're all well, you take care, and lots of love. Bye bye.